Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another book review on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum, and today we are taking a look at A Collector's Guide to the Savage 99 Rifle by David Royal. People underestimate Savage a lot, and they shouldn't. As Royal points out in his preface, over 1 million Savage Model 99 rifles, or patterns thereof, the 1895, the 1899, and the 99. Over 1 million of these things were manufactured over the course of really an extremely impressive 108 years of manufacturing. That's got to be really in the top for any single company to actually have been manufacturing the same rifle basically without interruption. There were a few periods where Savage stopped making these, but they were basically World War I and World War II when Savage was busy doing other things that you'll know if you think about, but might not occur to people off the top of their heads. Doing things like manufacturing Lee Enfield rifles for the British, manufacturing Lewis guns, manufacturing Thompson submachine guns for the US Army, manufacturing 50 caliber Browning machine gun barrels. Savage was a huge firearms industrial company. They had a lot of infrastructure, and they built an awful lot of guns. That's not even getting into their automatic pistols. So this book is very specifically focused on the 99. Now this is, in Savage's terms, this is really 3 separate rifles. It's the 1895, which was the very first one. It was Arthur Savage's first firearms design, or first successful firearms design. It then became the model of 1899, and Savage created his own company, the Savage Repeating Arms Company, to manufacture it. And then several decades later, they would shorten that to just the Model 99. By the 1920s, it was getting maybe a little counterproductive for the marketing department if you had 18-something in your gun model designation, despite the fact that this would continue to be in production until as late as 2003, and remains a perfectly adequate hunting rifle today. They're still a technologically interesting rifle. What makes the Savage cool is that it is a lever action with a rotary magazine. So similar, there aren't a whole lot of other guns out there that can do this. The one other one that comes to mind is the Winchester 1895. Lever action rifles capable of using Spitzer cartridges because they're not using tubular magazines. So in this, I will be honest, if you're not really interested in collecting the Savage 99, this really isn't going to be the book for you. There isn't a whole lot of contextual history. This is really specifically focused on exactly what happened with the Model 99. And for that reason, the more interested you are in the 99, the better this book gets. It goes through all of the individual letter designations that Savage would eventually use, A, B, C, all the way through R's and T's and right to the very end. And by the way, they reused some of these designations once or even more than once, and Royal has a good and thoroughly detailed explanation of when different model designations were in use and exactly what they indicate, because often it's very subtle things like whether or not there was checkering, straight stock versus pistol grip stock, barrel lengths, barrel profiles, barrel weights. All of these sorts of factors come into play, in addition, of course, to the technological changes that did happen to the gun. There weren't a lot, and they weren't particularly massive, but there were improvements made to it. Well, first improvements, and then later on maybe simplifications made to it throughout its production history. There would be changes to the receiver to accommodate different cartridges. There would be takedown versions added. There would be detachable magazine versions added, and those are all described in detail here, right along with all of the standard pattern guns. So the writing is not the most riveting that I've ever run into, although I will grant the author that it's not exactly a spy thriller of a subject. So if you are interested in collecting the 99, this is really an essential resource. There is very little else written on the 99. The other book out there is like 60, 70 years old at this point, and it was compiled from factory catalog data that's not entirely accurate. So what Royal has put together is a much better resource. This is published by Schiffer, one of actually a wide variety of firearms reference books that they do. Their list price on it is $60. I will include a link to Schiffer in the description below where you can get it from them for $60. I'll also include a link to Amazon because you can probably pick it up for a little bit less than that, somewhere in the 40s, I suspect, which is a little more palatable of a cost. And again, if you're into Savages, absolutely. Great book, highly recommended. If you're not really specifically interested in the Savage, maybe this isn't necessarily the very next book that you need to get. So, thank you for watching. Come around next week and we'll do another book review.